Welcome to the Generation Fit podcast. I'm your co-host, Coach Chris, with my co-host, Coach Brett. Today, on podcast 37, we talk about what happens to your metabolism after 30 years old, especially for desk working men. Enjoy. Okay, so I think one of the biggest questions that we do get that are pressing, and most of the guys that we work with always ask us, and it's what happens to our metabolism slowing down after 30 years old? And I'm going to tell you right now, long story short, it really didn't go anywhere. It's we have changed. Okay. We ourselves have changed. So I'll let Brett kind of open this one up and kind of let you guys understand and set the scene, because you can't, from the guys that we work with, most of you probably were some active, fit when you were younger, driven men that wanted to, that were just playing rec sports, doing other things, running around campus on college, just generally being active. You didn't really watch what you ate. And then you're working your way up the corporate ladder, trying to get promotions, shifting laterally. And next thing you know, you're promoted all the way to the point where you sit behind a desk all day. So, Brett, I'll let you kind of start off with this one.
Yeah, man. So the big secret behind metabolism is that, it does not really get impacted by aging nearly as much as people think it does. The fact that it does get impacted, I'm not saying it doesn't. There is a very, very, very small downtick over an extended period of time. But the reason why your metabolism slows down past 30 is because you stop moving. You become comfortable with life. You are, just working more hours. So you're a little more tired. You're sitting down more. You're not going out after work because you don't have the energy because you are a little older. But it's just a lack of movement. It's just the fact that you are tethering yourself to your chair at home, to your desk at work, and you're not really moving anywhere in between. That is the big reason behind metabolism slowing down. I don't right now we live in an era of extreme convenience, and I don't think that has done people as many favors as they think. I will see people Uber Eats food from that. We have this thing in Hoboken now. It's called Wonder. It's an interesting little conglomeration of small restaurants. They'll get food imported from the city or whatever, from larger distributors, and then they'll just sell it there. They'll just heat it up and ship it out, kind of thing. It's actually not bad. They have done very well with it. I'm actually very surprised. The quality is a lot higher than I thought it was going to be. So kudos to them. They're doing a great job, whatever the fuck that thing is. Anyways, but I have seen people order food from that restaurant to the apartment building down the street. Are you so fucking tired that a 2-minute walk to your lobby, out the door, down the street, and back is gonna ruin you? That is insane. People have just stop moving entirely because the world around them has become so accessible to them just from the internet and from whatever else. It is literally gonna put so many people in an early grave. It's just you're getting hyperpalatable food that you're gonna overeat without having to spend any calories to actually get up and go get it. That is absurd. That's gonna ruin people, I swear to God. Yeah. What do you think, Chris?
Well, it's definitely a multitude of factors. So I think shifting it from, I think setting the base, right? So let's say in your 20s, early 20s, right? For most guys that we work with, probably went to college or they were starting their own business, regardless of which one it is. And if they're working at desk jobs and getting something like that, from all the way from consulting, from being a lawyer, accountant, finance professional, whatever, the whole point was in your 20s, you most likely lived in the city, you lived with your parents to save money. But either way, you still found ways to do things outside of finding a job, working. And that was it, right? So from college, you were walking around campus everywhere, back to your dorm, to the cafeteria, to go get food and back. You were always actively doing something. And if I were to actually put a step counter on you, which I actually did for myself, I have actually had an Apple Watch since college. So back then, just to give you guys context, I was walking about 22,000 steps a day, every single day, going from classes, back to my dorm, back to my classes, to internship and back. Okay. 22,000. And then now I have to force myself to walk on my walking pad just to get 10,000. I have to walk an hour and a half on it at a 2 pace to get 10,000 steps. Okay. That's how much of a different of a lifestyle it is. So that's me forcing it. Okay. Now let's talk about the late 20s. So now you're working up your promotions. You're like, okay, well, I'm trying to still somewhat eat somewhat healthy. But then like I'm not doing all the pickup sports. I'm not, I'm going to the gym inconsistently. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, right? All the things that I've been doing back then, I used to just follow my friends and I follow this YouTuber and then this influencer. So anything used to work back then because your hormones were there. You can work out anytime you liked after work or before work. Sure, you got away with all of it. The recovery, the sleep. That's the issue. Before, you didn't have a base. You just did whatever you could and it worked because almost anything works when you're 20. So now when you're 30, like Brett mentioned before, you are not moving at all. It is all about the grind now. Most of the guys that come to us and we work with, they go, I don't know what happened. It just slipped away. I tried eating healthy. I tried these different diets. I thought it was do more cardio. I thought I had to do my 5-6 body part split, and I couldn't follow it. So I gave up anyways and did the start stop cycle. It's like, yeah, no shit. So then you think it's your metabolism going down, but watch this. If on average, most of our clients come in at what, 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day at most, and that's like the commute, like getting into the car, commuting, eating some few things, walking around the kitchen or their office, coming home, driving home, coming back, laying on their couch or the bed. That's like 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day. Whereas college, I'll even round down. Let's say you do 15,000. So if every 2,000 steps were to be 100 calories, it's not. It's usually like let's do 3,000. 3,000 steps for 100 calories. So it's 500 calories less every single day that you're burning. Every single day. So that means you would have to eat 500 calories less every day, knowing that you would still maintain weight. And just to let you know, for context, if you were in a 500 calorie deficit every single day, you lose a pound a week. So you not actually moving that much is the main reason you think your metabolism is slowing down, when in reality, it hasn't. When we look at the research, comparing at different decades, how much, basically there's a whole bunch of things that are part of your metabolism. We're talking, it's like going down less than like 5% per decade. So it's really not going down that much. So you're like, Chris, that is definitely a big thing. It's like, is it though? It's like if let's just say the average guy that we work with, 2,000 calories per day is like where they need to be. And you're telling me 5% of 2,000, that's not even 100, that's like 100 calories. Less, a decade, every decade. That is nothing. You know what could actually rebuild that metabolism? And this is, like I said, I'm a case study in and of itself. Just building muscle. Rebuilds that metabolism. Okay. And we'll go into that in a second. But I think just more setting that scene is just like your movement level is so much less. So much less. Early 20s was super, super active. Late 20s was you picking up your career. Then some of you started having a family, started moving away on your own, living with your partner, whatever it is. Like it just slipped away and you forgot. Then you just didn't care as much about your health. You just didn't care about movement. So worried about promotions. So worried about making money. You just threw it on the wayside. And now you're in this position where you're like, I don't know what to do, right? And nothing I've done in the past works for me now. It's because it was never the best way to do it. You just did it because you thought it was right. Not because it was scientifically the best, not because it worked for you. It just happened to work back then. So in terms of putting on muscle, burning more calories, so then what would you advise these guys to do?
Oh god, I think the first things first, just get in the gym. Like, I swear to God, people just like have this version of the gym like it's some big scary place, and like, yeah, I get it. It can be intimidating, but the first thing is just go to the gym twice a week. It doesn't have to be like some big giant leap where you don't need to like flip a switch and start going 5 days a week to make progress. If you're in such an untrained state that you're worried about your metabolism dropping, that's like what's killing you. Like, I swear to God, if you go twice a week, consistently, and you just pick like 6 movements, pick like, one movement for each body part: chest, back, legs, arms, shoulders, core. Honestly, start there, one thing per day, 3 sets, and you'll probably make like totally fine progress for a short period of time. You will see a marked difference as long as you're in there and you're trying, and you'll like start making huge leaps and bounds. Like, that's the first thing. It's so easy. The second thing I'd do is I would start kicking off with just making your diet more consistent. It's not even like making it like super like rigid and structured. Like I like a structured diet. I thrive on structure very well, but like if you just come in and you just kind of have like, start meal prepping a little bit. Just like have an amount of food you're having, like, set it up so you're having, one of the same meals like, every day or every other day kind of thing. Change it up a little bit, change up your sauce content, change up whatever else is going in it, change up your protein, and that way it's a little more fresh each time. But just start to make things a lot more consistent, because if you're just like out there treating your diet like the Wild West, like you're not really going to make any progress, right? Like I don't know anybody who will randomly have like a burger like 2 times a week. There's like, because it's easy and it's cheap. It's going to make a whole lot of progress towards their weight loss goals. But that's where I'd start personally. I think those two things are the biggest pillars. How do you feel about Chris?
Yeah, those are definitely the two big things. I think for the guys that we work with, it's like I know you guys don't want to revolve your life around fitness. Most of you, right? Maybe a few of you will eventually love doing this and just eventually like make it your life. But most of the guys that do come to us, they're like, look, I just want to be lean. I want to be confident. I want to feel good, shirtless. I want to, be able to eat the things that I want to and enjoy life with, the body that I enjoy being in. And to be there, it's like, I would say you would want to maximize your time, right? You might as well kill two birds with one stone. So for your work, for your commutes, start parking further away in the parking lot. Start taking stairs until like it's unbearable to walk anymore, and then take the elevator all the way up if it's like 100 floors, God forbid. But if you're working from home, have a walking pad, have a under the desk peddler. Basically, just do something where you can do it in tangent. When you take a phone call, just go walk around. Especially, I don't care if it's in the office. I don't care if it's outside. I mean, it's negative. It was -10 yesterday in Minnesota, and I was like, all right, well, screw me. I have to go on this walking pad for like 20 minutes. But if you're like in Texas or Florida, it's like, dude, go for a walk. Like, come on, just anywhere. Put on a podcast, do something. Like, and then if you're in the office, if you have an hour lunch break, take most of that for walking and just put in something that you enjoy listening to, like this podcast. Hashtag sponsor. But just I would say is do the things that you're already going to be doing anyways, and then just tying with some sort of movement. And if not, create triggers like taking 10 minutes to walk after eating meals. That'll help with digestion too, and also be more present, especially if you have a partner. And if you do that together, that's going to be a time where you guys can be present together. Whether it be, my favorite actually has been recently jump roping. So if you're just like, I just want the highest return for my time, jump rope has got to be number one. So I actually just found this out in terms of pure metrics.
Really?
So if you were to walk at a 2-mile-an-hour pace, right, for 6,000 steps, that would take you about 90 minutes. Okay, so 2-mile-an-hour pace is like you and your buddy just casually walking down the riverfront. That's 2-mile-an-hour pace. Okay. The way we actually walk on the riverfront in Hoboken, it's probably like a 4, just to let you know. But to equate that, to get about 6,000 steps worth of burned calories in jump roping, that'd be about 15 minutes at the speed of listening to "Numb" by Linkin Park or "Wake Me Up" by Avicii. 15 minutes, 6,000 steps, same calorie burn. That is nuts. Like, yeah, are you going to do it for 15 minutes straight at that pace? No. Like, you're going to hit your leg. You're going to take a stick, take a small break. But imagine if you did 3 5-minute jump rope sessions. Like, how easy would that be? Work from home, guys. It's like there is no excuse. Like, zilch at that point. If you're just like, oh, I have 5 minutes, I can literally go eat, take a step outside, even if it is negative 20 degrees outside, go in front of my garage and just.
Out of curiosity, like completely off topic, how does jump roping compare to swimming for calorie burn? I know swimming is like much less accessible and therefore a little more problematic, but like comparatively, just like time spent to actually perform the activity, how do they stack up?
That is a great question. Let's play with this actually.
Yeah, I've always thought swimming was like very efficient, just because like it's inherently resistance based, right? The water will resist you. It's full body, so you're activating a ton of musculature. I know it's the best by far for cardio for joint health. Like if you have like any elbow issues, knee issues, swimming has like zero joint impact. Whereas like if you're like, especially if you're like very overweight, and I'm like, yeah, go run a mile. Like you might not have fucking knees by the end of it. You know what I mean? Like swimming just has none of that associated with it whatsoever.
All right. So since this is a math equation,
Huh?
It would basically be you have to equate distance, time, and intensity for each. So the question, this is why I have these very specific. So how long and fast do I need to swim freestyle? Because every one of them changes too.
Huh?
Freestyle to burn the same amount of calories as walking 10,000 steps. Let's do 6,000 because like most people kind of do like 3 to 4,000 just naturally. So let's do
Huh?
6,000 to compensate at a 3 mile an hour pace. Okay, so this will be interesting. Um, so 6,000 steps, about 2.7 miles at 3.5 miles an hour. That takes about 54 to 60 minutes. Total calories burned is about at the high end, 200, 220 is the high end, so 200 will just average. So if you were to do it, you would have to do it at a moderate pace. You would cut the time in half.
Legit. Okay.
That's hard though. Well, okay, so now, by the way, I love swimming in the sense of I love it for the modality. I love it because it's low impact on your body. It is always concentric, meaning that every way you move, you're always shortening the muscle. And another way of saying, very low damage to the muscles. And it's great for heart, right? It's just like everything's good for you about swimming. Now you still have to be 8 to 10 kcals per minute. The only thing is I don't know how fast that would need to be. I don't know. I can't. I have to convert that to speed again because I couldn't tell you that. But either way, I'm just saying it's like that's harder to access. But I am all for it. If you do have a swimming pool, especially like LA Fitness or like a Lifetime or something, like by all means, go to town. But I think most of us, it's mainly that you want to integrate movement into your day, right?
Yes.
Versus forcing it against it, right? I think that's the biggest thing that most people need to do. So start with integrating it into things that are easy, and then eventually start separating it from the rest of the day, like creating habits and triggers, like 10 minutes of walking, because that will take it so much further than you think. And I just want to be very clear, right, in terms of being in the metabolism, is that like the reason why we talk about this so much is because metabolism is not X equals Y, right? It's A plus B plus C equals X plus Y plus Z, and so on. But the whole point is that both sides of the equation can be added or subtracted from before they equal out each other. And that's, you're like, oh my God, there's so much information. It's like, oh, okay, I got you. The moving side also, right? The moving side is on the right. And when you don't move as much, your total energy that you need to be eating to maintain weight will also decrease. So the reason why that number is there, just besides just for general health and heart health, is that if you move less than that, you have to decrease how much you eat to maintain weight. And I don't know about you guys, I like eating my food. So
Yeah.
if it's up to me, I'd rather move a little bit more to get to eat a little bit more food. And to be fair, it's not by much, right? Like we're talking, if you're already averaging 3,000, 4,000 steps and you go up to 10,000, that's only 300 calories more per day, right? I mean, and yes, that's like what, 2 cups of rice at most of food, but it will add up over time. And then most people don't even think of it like that, right? I think it's just more if you're moving that much, you're just eventually going to eat less because you're probably more conscious of what you're eating, of how much you're moving, right? It's more of a subconscious thing more than anything else. Once you get to the numbers, that's where it gets a little crazy. But overall, it's like your metabolism isn't slowing down. You just move a hell of a lot less, so your body doesn't burn more calories. Is the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah, man,
um,
that's it. Like it's just movement. People just like slow down their old age. Like I really never. So I had a very physical job. I used to be a chef, and the entire time I was a chef, like I didn't notice any like downtick in my metabolism. Like I never really like I was overweight because I just ate all day, but I never really had a certain period of time. I didn't hit 30, and it was just like, oh my god, I'm gaining so much more weight now because I'm 30 years old. It's like no, like I was always moving just as much. I just like everything kind of maintained. It was very static. It's not like all of a sudden my metabolism just like drops off a fucking cliff. I start to balloon up out of nowhere. It's like it's very very much like a rolling thing. As long as you are maintaining your movement patterns or instilling new good movement patterns and or habits, and that way you're getting out there and you're burning these calories. Your metabolism like it only slows down by a fraction.
Yep.
Like that's it. And just build some fucking muscle, dude. Like every pound of muscle you can build burns 10 calories just to maintain itself. Like that's fucking huge. If you build 10 pounds of muscle, your calorie intake per day increases by like 100. That's insane. Like those are fucking amazing numbers, right? So just be jacked is generally good advice. Just fucking be fucking ripped, and then you're gonna like be able to eat a shit ton and be fucking amazing. Look amazing. Seems good to me.
Yeah, I mean that's so okay. So I'll speak in business terms. So the highest return on investment, right, of effort and of time, is putting on muscle, and it's because it's the only thing you can do that will. It's basically generating passive income, but instead of passive income, it's passive calories burned, and yeah, Brett's giving you numbers, and it's not. There's no perfect number actually, even with all the research. It's just
Yeah.
arbitrary. But hypothetically, if that were the case, it's like imagine a year, 2 years, 10 years that eventually become so much more muscular overall that you are burning hundreds of calories more. Yeah, you're like, oh, 100 calories and 10 pounds. Like, oh, that's not a lot. But imagine you're not doing anything to burn those 100 calories. That's the difference. You're sleeping. You're doing absolutely nothing to burn those extra calories. And what's funny is I'll give you a little anecdote here about me is like the reason why I work with more desk working guys is because I worked in corporate as a corporate health and wellness coach in a big Fortune 500 company. And I got to see the archetype of people and what they needed to do, right? But I wasn't the desk worker, right? I was obviously their coach. I was training on the floor. I would go upstairs into the corporate offices and where all the open floor plan cubicles were and would do like stretches and move around with them. But you would see is like what? Guys just snacking away, having drawers of snacks, like pantries almost, eating away, chipping away, posture like this, like, super slouched, neck is almost touching, nose is almost touching the screen from their neck, like all the way forward, looking like Gru. And then like that's the issue about it. It's just like we're just not moving, we're eating a lot more. And what's even crazier is this. Like this is how powerful movement is for your metabolism. For me, I now work behind a desk all day. Like today, I spent 12 hours drawing up content, making more value pieces, giving you guys so much more that you guys can do on your own. Now, I still force myself to get 10,000 steps, but to maintain my weight is about 3,000 calories, 27 to 3,000 calories here, okay? Give or take. When I lived in Hoboken and I was still personal training, I was walking about 20,000 steps a day, okay? And also with a weighted backpack, just because I had everything on me at all times. To maintain weight, I was eating 4,000 calories. 4,000. I have a video of me that I made that I was god awful, but I will find it again. And to put on weight, I was eating 4,300 calories per day. At the end of every night, I'd be eating pints of ice cream to get up there. And if I missed a meal, I would lose weight instantaneously. And it's because I was moving so much. So what I'm trying to get to you guys is I dropped 1,000 calories because I dropped 10,000 plus steps. That's insane. And that's probably equivalent to the amount of calories that you guys had also lost from going from college, post grad, into, now being a higher level white collared man. It's such a vast difference. Isn't that crazy though? Like I cannot eat the way I do in Hoboken. Like in Hoboken, I don't know if you remember. I was just for context, guys. I was eating 4 cups of starch every single meal with 2 servings of protein.
Christ. I remember this. I remember you were having a conversation with somebody, a prospective client, and they were talking to you, and they were talking about like what you eat to to bulk up, and you said 16 cups of rice, and I was like on a computer, like 5 feet away. I was like, what? What do you mean? That's so much fucking.
It was relative. I think
Yeah, 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 I
the
get that. But I was like, holy fuck.
okay,
I'm
so
just imagining. I was imagining your apartment is just like a fleet of rice cookers, just like working 24/7 to maintain the amount of rice you need to consume to like gain weight. Jesus fucking Christ.
um, it's 100% true though, and that's the craziest part about this was when I was talking to this client in person. I was telling him how much, how many steps I was getting every single day, and obviously, like the whole point was that I was not relating to them, just showing them the principle of movement and how much
Mm.
it affects our metabolism. And I was telling him that I eat 16 cups of starch every single day, right, to hit my calorie targets. And it's not because I just eat a little bit more clean than most people, so like it just was that. But to conceptualize that 16 cups of starch, that is nutty. Okay, it is absolutely nutty to understand.
Yeah.
And if let's say you weren't as strict with structured as me, that's essentially eating almost anything you want to in a day and just making sure that you're not ending up super full and you will maintain weight. Like that's the difference. So I think now that you understand the concept, I think the easier way now is like, okay, well, Chris, I obviously cannot do that, right? I think it's just more of understanding the concept. So for you guys, your biggest takeaways is that you have to be building muscle, have to be going to the gym a minimum of 2 times per week, focusing on the big compound movements, then isolations that you want to focus on, making sure that you're progressing by technique, adding weight, adding reps, and then making sure that over time that you should be doing harder exercises, training hard to the point where you only have 1 or 2 perfect reps left. But the whole point is that is your highest return on investment. Because I can tell you this now, also personal. I can tell you, I mean, I actually could show these guys all the clients too, but I think it's easier just to talk about me because I could know off the top of my head. Is when I was 155 pounds lean, I was maintaining weight at 18 and 1900 calories. Same step count, like 12,000. Okay. 10, 12,000. I am currently at 27 to 3,000 calories at 170 something pounds. Okay. That is a vast difference. The same step count. So when people were like, holy shit, Chris, like that's 9 years ago, 10 years, 10 years as of next May, right? 10 years. That's almost 1,000 calorie difference. So when people are like, oh, this isn't worth my time, it's like, this is the only thing that's worth your time. Everything
That's
else
true.
is literally not worth your time. You do more cardio, like we call it medium intensity, steady state cardio, miss, which is like treadmill, jogging, elliptical, whatever. Like that will bring down your metabolism, and it's because your body gets so good at it, which is a good thing. Like that's a good thing. That is a natural response to what you're doing, but that's because we as humans evolved to travel long distances to be able to survive if we needed to run away from something. That's actually one of our superpowers, right? In our ancestral backgrounds. So what we're doing, we're fighting against biology right now, putting on as much mass as we can to burn the most amount of calories at rest. It's like literally the opposite. And I think Brett said it best in the beginning of this was everything is surrounded around comfort. That is a good thing in the sense of we can get whatever we want whenever we want. Like this has never happened in the history of human civilization. Good, the bad. Everything is engineered to taste as good as possible, to get to you as easy as possible, and for you to keep eating it. Not good to lose weight. Okay. So when you combine the two, when people now to tie it all together, when people are like, my metabolism is broken, I go, oh, I obviously like, look, I understand, like, if you don't understand these concepts, yeah, like, I'm just like, hey, totally get where you're coming from. I can understand why you believe that, but no, it's not broken. You can take control of it, and it's by weightlifting 2 times a week. It's by moving as much as you can, and if not, go get a jump rope. It's like $10, and jump rope like 5 minutes 3 times a day. To your favorite songs at 120 beats per minute. Mine's "Wake Me Up" by Avicii, "Sue Me," or "Numb" by Linkin Park, which is also a great band too. And then after that, it's just making sure that you're just not binge eating and focusing on eating protein, fibers, and then a little bit of the foods that you like. It's really that simple. Like that's as simple as it can get. Okay, but your metabolism is not broken. Like I guarantee you, if it is broken, I will send you to a metabolic ward because you would be an anomaly if that were the case. If you're enjoying the podcast so far, please subscribe. Share with a friend who also will get lots of value. All right, back to the show. Bang! Ka-chow! Ka-chow! Only arms. Only arms.
Yeah, man.
I've actually downregulated my lower body training for the last 3 years now, almost. So much so that they have not been progressing at all. I just go in there and just push it to my max just to feel good about myself, and that's it. Progression is just holding. I'm not like forcing it at all. I'm just kind of like doing it. And it's because my arms were proportionately way smaller than my legs. Like it was ridiculously unproportionate.
It was very, very drastic. Like proportionally some of the largest legs I've ever seen on a human being, I think, like in person. The only other person that really jumps to my mind is there's an IFBB pro that used to go to Crunch for a little bit, who had like his legs were so big he would just like waddle everywheres. It was fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
Was it Tristan?
no, his name was Jack. Jack was, um, I should really find his Instagram at some point in time. Nice guy. Taught me how to lat spread actually, because I was like, I don't know how the fuck I do this. How do you do this? And it's like, oh, it's just like, okay, all right, sweet. But like, he was literally he was nice guy, super chill, very intelligent. On a fair bit of the Sazul because is what it is. It's part of the game. But he would just like literally, he would have to. His hamstrings were so large. He would have to walk with his feet like flared out like a fucking duck and just kind of like shimmy around a bit. It was fucking. That was a monster.
Okay, well, yeah, my legs aren't that big. My legs aren't big enough to where I chafe at every given moment of my entire life. And I have to wear through 2 full pant sizes bigger just to fit my inseam. But that just sounds like a whole another problem to deal with.
Completely different beast. Guy was
I would never wear pants.
insane.
I would just wear pajamas every day of my life. There would be nothing. Nope. Every pants would have to be tailored. That's already kind of crazy because I already have to tailor my pants, and then imagine at that level, that's like a whole different monster.
Yeah, dude. We do have one guy at the gym right now who's nice guy, very large. He can only wear shorts like year round. He'll walk to fucking the gym in the snow in shorts because he's gonna go do leg day, and if he just doesn't have pants that fit, all the time. Just like buying that many specialty pants, I guess is like just gets expensive.
Oh, of course. Oh my god, yeah. I've 3 pairs of jeans from me and tailored is already like $200, just like off the rip, if not more, if not 250. It's funny because I think most of the guys that come on here or that come work with us, and once they get the results, they're like, dude, I have to get my shit tailored. I have to get smaller clothes. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good problem because now you're actually going to look good in your suits and in your polos. That's exactly what happened. That's actually one of my biggest. I had a photo of me back when I was on my family cruise back in like 2009 or so, and he saw me in a suit, and it looks like I was in prison. It looks like I was about to get to be sent off to jail. When like all the guys wear like the baggy ass suits, and then because like they have no, they get the attorney that's given to them, and then it's like so baggy, and you're like not even there. That's exactly what I look like. I have to find the picture. One of my biggest pursuits back then was to fit in a suit properly and actually have it fitted and actually look good in it, not just have my cheeks like, and then also have like the Wilson Fisk look in a suit from Daredevil.
What Regal? Like fucking there's Regal a problem now? I see. Okay.
I mean, in terms of the swag, it's sweet, but like he's still. I mean, in the show, he's still large. Like the actor's phenomenal. His suit game is awesome. But I'd rather look like Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother, like lean in rather than like out, everything out and chin out. So that's just my take on it. Any bigger than that, any big bodybuilder than that just becomes like, you ever see John Cena in a suit? it just doesn't look
Yeah.
right. Or like,
Yeah, I will bring up Ronnie Coleman in a suit
yeah,
like
Coleman.
for a bunch of clients, just because like it just looks so fucking silly. Like all the respect in the world to Ronnie Coleman, one of the fucking greatest of all time, but fucking in a suit? Are you kidding me? He looks like he's like wearing a fucking tent. It's crazy.
It is it is pretty brutal. So I don't I don't foresee myself trying to build my legs up as much anymore. Maybe in the near, I mean, maybe in the future,
Yeah.
I will. Maybe like, basically less barbell movements to build up my legs. But the reason why I backed off my leg movements was because I always did them first. I always focused on their progression, so I was fried by the time I did arms. So I would do like the heaviest legs into the heaviest push and pulls, and then I get to my arms and calves, like my limbs. And then like, yeah, like no shit. Like imagine squatting 400 plus pounds for reps for
Mhm.
lots of sets and lots of reps. And then you're like, okay, well, I also have to go bench lots of sets and lots of reps. And then, okay, let's just go do some preacher curls. And then I'm preacher curling less than, 2.5 pounds per side because I mentally cannot push anymore after all that. So I flipped the script now, and now I'm doing all auxiliary movements first, like
Mhm.
all things don't really bother each other. So like bicep
Yeah.
curls, tricep. I'll still do triceps near the end because it does affect pressing. So I'll do like bicep curls. I'll do like rear delt flies, calf raises, and then get into the main movements.
I mean, my big thing with programming is I always try to lead on the movements that are like super important for a person. So if there is a lagging muscle group or something they really really care about, they're like, I want like huge biceps, like fucking massive biceps. Like, all right, cool. You're doing legs today. Cool. Guess what we're doing first? Curls, bicep curls. That's it. Because like it's so especially for like on days where you're training arms and auxiliary and like your limbs or your upper body versus legs is like if you're training your legs first, you're not gonna end up feeling strong on arms, right? Like you will develop so much like just generalized fatigue from doing heavy squats or deadlifts or leg press or what have you, that by the time you get to arms, like there's nothing in the tank. You're just cooked. So like, can you do like some curls and get like a marginal amount of growth? Yeah, but if you're really serious about growing your arms and like doing them ahead of time is gonna give you the best stimulus. It's gonna make sure that like when you're doing your arm work, which is most important to you, that you are firing properly, you're fucking crisp, you're in the moment, and you can really push it. And then and it doesn't detract away from the legs nearly as much when you get to that at the end. Um, but yeah, so if you're in for big arms and like yeah, like I would 100% just like fucking load up biceps first. Triceps are a little or can be a little touch and go in the sense of like they are like a big working muscle. Like if I do like a fuck ton of tricep work and then I go do legs afterwards, I've developed a fair amount of like systemic fatigue, and I don't really have like everything in my tank for doing quads after that. But fucking biceps or shoulders, side delts are great for it as well. Like I can flap around like a fucking lateral raise and then go squat whatever, and it doesn't really matter. Whereas like if I lateral raise after deadlifting, I'm just like yeah, yeah, and yeah, fuck this, we're going home. That's it. I'm over. Like I'm over it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's just basically where I've been at with the training stuff. But do you see the acquisition of Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers?
I did not. That's insane.
$72 billion. They
Holy
acquired
shit.
everything from the the Warner Brothers game studios. So like Arkham, all the Arkham series, superheroes, the games in that regard, Game of Thrones and its spinoffs,
Uh-huh.
all of DC movies, all across the board. So then their superhero line is all theirs now. Complete acquisition.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. All right.
Yeah, I also didn't realize Amazon Prime was about 22% of the allocation of the U.S. streaming market, and now Netflix is going to be like close to 50.
That's a huge chunk. What the fuck?
It's gonna be pretty close because I mean, yeah, you have Hulu, Paramount, Peacock, all the Apple Plus, right? But now that you've acquired HBO, right, that is a huge subsect.
Uh-huh.
That was a huge competitor that they just bought out. So that just happened, I think, today. I think it went through today.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was happening. That's gonna be a big deal. I'm really curious to see what's gonna change in the immediate future for for Netflix, given that that's so much like leverage.
Oh, I hold on. Yeah, I think so. I already have my gripes with Netflix. So anybody watching this, I don't need a he, she, trans person playing my favorite characters in my shows. Okay, I don't care. I like the way my characters were written, based of ethics values grounded from mostly Judeo-Christian values. And guess what? They're fantastic. That's the reason why I like them. Yet somehow Robin is now gay. Tim Drake. I'm pretty sure half my characters are like girls banging girls and guys banging other guys that are girls that are guys. You know, like I'm losing track of this shit. So leave my stuff alone. I just want to watch a movie or watch my favorite TV shows and characters that were written because they have just values that I also agree with. And if you're like, well, all these people are like not watching comics anyways, or it's the lowest ratings, it's like, yeah, no kidding. It's because you're throwing your ideology onto me. And I don't like it. I don't care about it. I'm just trying to escape reality and watch a little bit of my shows. In this case, could be Titans, Superman, some of the Batman stuff in my superhero shows. And God forbid. But you know what's funny? I've yet to see a really good comedy in a long time. You know what? I've thought about this. A really good comedy, like slapstick, out of left field, completely crude. And I'm talking like besides John Stanicki or something like that with John
Mhm.
Cena, which I thought was pretty good. I don't know if you watched it. the I mean like the original I would say the 2012 2013 was like the last era of really really funny comedies. So that was I think Ending in Jump Street was the last like big comedy that I really really enjoyed. Right before that was like Pineapple Express. You had all the super bad, Step
Oh
Brothers,
man, Superbad was so
Talladega
good.
Nights, right? Like that's I think that was the era of the best era of comedy. Well, we were like that I was conscious for, but,
Mhm.
but after that, it's been like completely so soft.
Yeah, it has been, and I don't know if that's like due to the political climate or whatever. People are just like scared to make like things like that anymore. But could be a lot of things. I think we are hurting for a good comedy these days, though. I think it's pretty valid. Um, are you familiar with the recent drama at the World's Strongest Woman championships? Have you heard about this?
I think I heard something. I assume that it's a man that beat them all.
Correct. You are right. Is a male to female transitioned person. And like, listen, I don't really care what people identify as, what they want to call themselves, what they want to like present as, what they want to like write down on their legal documents, whatever. Like, that's all fine. That's your own personal choice. But there's like a certain amount of like competitive integrity that needs to be brought into any kind of like competitive sports organization, right? Like, is if you are entering a woman's classification as, a male to female transition person, then you have effectively just been on steroids for the entirety of your life, give or take. You know what I mean? Like the person who won was like, I think she was like 6'4", just like towered everybody else. She had like 6'4" and like 300 to 400 pounds, something like that. Absolutely crazy shit. Just like monstrous proportions. And she's just like, just crushed everybody. It wasn't even close. Ended up like afterwards they revoked her title and gave it to the second place winner, who is now second time world's strongest woman, who really deserved it, who like is super passionate about the sport. But like, man, that was for a moment like real fucking upsetting for a lot of people.
That's so dumb. That is absolutely ridiculous that they even allow that to happen. I even know how this is political. It's just the basics of biology and
Yeah.
just looking at the X and X the chromosomes, basics of chromosomes, and then from there the basics of our build from biology. Because you can't compare apples to oranges. You literally can't. That's not what we're meant for. It's literally not even close. But the whole point is, I really hope that all this shit goes back to normal where I can actually see a man challenging another man and a woman challenging another woman. And my characters on my movies and my shows are just normal people that are trying to have some sort of male arc of, you know, the basic hero's arc. Like, where'd that go? You ever thought about this? This is the shit I think about, and it's kind of messed up. Every time I watch a movie now, it's just like the the man is like the worst person in the world. Then the woman just automatically like does nothing and gets the most attractive rich man ever, and does everything else right off the get go. No problem whatsoever. Look at Rey from Star Wars. She just doesn't know her parents. Just somehow rattles along and becomes a Jedi and a Jedi Knight. That's it. There's no build up whatsoever besides her hunting down her parents. No, like the building up to it was what? Fighting Kylo Ren. And that was kind of it. And then at the end, they're like, "Oh, we both like are in love with each other, and then we can't do anything about it." And that was it. Like, I mean, to be fair, the original series was like Luke kissing his sister, so I'm not condoning that either.
That's funny.
I'm not condoning that either. But it's just funny that it didn't get the build up. Again, the storyline was amazing. The romantic part was crazy, and then this was just like everything was crap, but there was a romantic portion to it. You know, it's kind of like it was like the biggest flip of all time. You ever thought about that though?
I don't know. I don't really dig too deep into it, honestly. It's like, no, I don't. I mean, like, I don't know. I think there's still shows out there that like have a decent arc to it that is kind of like a little bit more subversive. Like, I actually quite enjoyed what's that? The John Cena superhero show, Peacemaker. I actually like.
Yeah, I'm watching that. I'm watching that now,
it's-
season 2.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's like I think it doesn't like fit that mold necessarily. I think it's like pretty goofy at times, or most of the
Yeah.
time. It's like while still having some serious overtones. How deep are you? Out of curiosity.
I'm like last episode of the newest season, so I'm
Gosh.
right before that
Yeah.
one.
Gosh, yeah, like season 2 was like heavy. I wasn't expecting season 2 to be like to start off quite so fucking dramatic. I was like completely out of left field. That shit was fucking crazy. Like because I watched it right after season 1. I was just like season 1 was so fucking like upbeat and whatever. And yeah, like there's some stuff that happens around the end where it's like a little more dramatic because like that's just how shows are. But like but it still will have like light undertones. And then like season 2 happens, complete fucking turn. The first episode is like just super fucking heavy, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck just happened. This is so fucking weird.
Yeah. I do remember the first episode. It was really messed up. I think my biggest thing was that they changed the song, and I love that song. I love the first season song so much that Paul and I used to dance in our apartment to that song. And they changed it. And to be fair, it's not like I don't like the second one. It's just that we had so many ties to the first. So when they changed it, I was like, no, it's over.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, I didn't mind the song change personally. I thought it was totally fine. Well, there's something about the second season. Oh yeah, like I like I loved the transition from like the Justice League because this end of season 1 has like the previous Justice League involved in it, and then like they flipped it to the new Justice League characters from this last one, which has been like
the Justice Gang.
The Justice Gang, that's right. Who, like, honestly, I'm really hoping that Nate Fillion gets a fucking Green Lantern movie. I think it'd be fantastic.
They're coming out with Lanterns, the TV show.
That's amazing. I'm so on board.
They have
I love
so
Fillion.
much. They have so like this is what I'm trying to say, man. Like they have so much good material, and I don't even know. I didn't even read half the Lantern storylines. But just imagine you like a whole show revolved like let's say the first 1 or 2 seasons is just about the Green Lanterns being Green Lanterns. And then you can start branching off into Sinestro, into the yellows. And then you have all the other arcs with like, the pink, the purple, the blues, and I don't even know their emotional spectrums. And then eventually it's like Kyle Rayner being the White Lantern. You know what I mean? And then you get into the Black Lantern. Oh my God, there's so much to do, and yet nobody is doing it. And it's because I think, well, one I think is it's like so far fetched. Batman and Superman are so easy to conceptualize.
Yeah.
But I think once you're in space and doing all this stuff, this is where it probably gets a little wackier. But I'm all on board. I can't wait. I think it's next year. I think it's 2027.
I mean, yeah, like, I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm on board with like pretty much anything that Nathan Fillion does. That guy's amazing. So if he's in that show, I'll watch it for sure. I don't need any other fucking criteria. That's it. The man is a treasure. But yeah, like they have all this all this material, and it's just like it's the more you get away from yeah, like Superman is like his whole fucking he's relatable in the sense like he's very humanoid and how he like acts and perceives the world, like almost like a certain like level of naivety, and then Batman is like also just very human because he's completely humanoid, has no like special powers or anything beyond comical amounts of wealth, which is fine, I guess.
That's a superpower.
Theoretically attainable. I don't know. But like so these guys are all like there's way more relatability. As soon as you start going to like space and you start going like to far off places, different dimensions, blah blah blah, like you start to like lose a lot of the more mainstream audience, and it ends up just not being very like it people don't attach to it as well. Like a lot of the Marvel shows recently just like hadn't done very well because they started getting more and more away from like what made people interested in the series in the first place. Like I don't think that Loki had rave reviews. It did fine, but it wasn't amazing or anything. I think WandaVerse was pretty good, but I don't think people like necessarily took to it as much as like some other things. Things of that nature. Like yeah, it's good, and if the content's good, then like people will come to it. But like at the end of the day, is like you kind of need to have a certain level of like grounding reality to really pick up people outside of the main consumers of that media.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Like I said, I think the first season or two is just really grounding in because most of all the Green Lantern, like the ones that are the most famous, are all humans from Earth. So it's just going to be time until they pick it all up. Even the one right now is Guy Gardner. But like once we redo a take of John Stewart, and then we do Hal Jordan, um, and then getting into the other guy, the other guys like Kyle Rayner, like we'll eventually it'll definitely build, but like this is like they can do this right this time around is what I'm trying to get at. But it is gonna be a lot tougher. Hence why I
Yeah.
think Lanterns will be always the toughest one of all the superheroes, and then also like Martian Manhunter.
Yeah,
Like
that's the hardest one. Like, I don't know anybody who's like a big Martian Manhunter fan. Like, he's fine, but like he's only fine by extension of being part of the Justice League, and so therefore extension of like Batman, Superman, Flash, and these other more humanoid people with more humanoid problems.
yeah, it is gonna be super super tough. I know they made a lot of spin-offs and TV shows that make him look cool, and he is, but just yeah, you're not
Yeah.
just be like I want
No,
to be Martian Manhunter. It's like
I didn't say he's not cool. I just saying like people don't have the same grounding with him as they do with like these other superheroes, right? He was never really that big a deal to people, whereas like Superman is obviously Superman and Batman are super symbolic of a lot of different things, and they're just like you can kind of find their influence throughout culture everywhere. Whereas like Martian Manhunter, like I'd have to kind of like really look for it. I'm sure I can pick up some things that were influenced by him if I like try hard enough, but like and the fact that you have to try hard to realize what kind of like resonance a character has means they haven't really made a huge impact in the first place.
yeah, exactly. And I mean his arc is technically closer towards Superman, anyways, but there it's closer. Um, but it was actually all about a race war. It was like the green aliens versus the white aliens, and then it was like a whole thing. Yeah, yeah, it's some crazy lore. Yeah, I was watching it like way back when. But it's still like I said, I don't nobody goes, yeah, I like really resonate with him. He's just really cool. I just won't be like,
Yeah,
hey,
no, it's cool.
I want to be like him. Whereas like I want to be like I named my son after Nightwing
I want to grow up to be green and phase through walls. That's what I want.
and be afraid of fire.
Yeah. Are you into Invincible at all? Or are you on that train or not?
No, anything animated we don't watch because she doesn't like
Really?
animation. She doesn't like animation, nothing.
Oh my god.
She doesn't like
Invincible's so good though.
no, I trust me. I've watched clips and it's fantastic. I just like if I'm gonna watch something with her, she's not gonna. It's 99% chance not gonna be animated.
Gotcha. That's a little unfortunate. I think like that's a hard sell for me. Like turning yourself off in like entire like large subsect of media because it's animated is crazy to me. Like I'm not
Complete
saying
biased.
go out there.
Complete. It's ignorance and bias. She just doesn't want to like it either.
There have been some fantastic shows I've watched that are just completely animated, like Gravity Falls, just like a cartoon, mostly
Plenty.
like it was amazing, so good. Invincible's excellent. Uh, What else was there? Castlevania was quite good on Netflix. The first season was really good. Kind of fell off a little bit cliff there. But yeah, there's a whole list of like just animated shows. Animation is a completely viable form of media, and people who are like saying it's not are like fucking insane. If you're just like, nah, I just can't watch anything animated, it's just like, it's too kiddie. It's like, no, it's not. It's like, it's fucking. There are shows that are animated that are made for like pretty much all levels, right? Like, it's just a way to depict things, which is totally fine. Like,
some things are just not meant for live action. Dragon Ball, not it's just not like sure it can be, but it hasn't been depicted. None of them have been depicted well. Even like Death Note, it's like the American Death Note was terrible.
I heard that the One Piece adaptation was quite good. I didn't watch it because I also haven't watched One Piece at all.
Yeah, I don't watch that one.
I have no problem with One Piece. I will never watch One Piece. There's just too much of it. I think it's up to like 1,300 episodes of One Piece or something. And I'm just like, that's a lot of stuff. I think I'm okay. And people will try who I'll talk to will mention like, yeah, it's so good though. I'm like, yeah, but that's like a lot of episodes. It's like, so like. How many episodes of One Piece? I'm just gonna Google this real quick. One Piece episodes.
I think you're right. It's about there.
It's yeah. How many? So there's 1,150 episodes of One Piece. So 1,150 episods,
and about 19 minutes each.
20. So 22. Let's just round it down, say 20. So 23,000 minutes. So, give or take what the fuck am I doing? Divide by 60 is 383.333 repeating hours of my life that I will never ever get back. That's an absurd amount of time. That is a full-time job. That is like so much work. Is like I would literally just like fucking take like 3 days off work for like the foreseeable future and just binge watch 16 hours a day. And then if I did that it's way too much. If I can't binge watch that for like 3 days a week, 16 hours a day for a fucking year and not make it to the end, it's too much show. There's too much of it. There's no fucking point. There's no way I'm getting into it now.
Yeah, that's
fucking wild.
A lot of material. That's not kind of crazy.
It is. And a lot of people are like, yeah, but there's all these filler arcs. You can just skip over those. I'm like, that's not selling it to me. That doesn't sound like a good thing.
Yeah, that's you have to be invested. That's its whole own thing at that point.
Yeah, this is its own career path at that point. I don't fucking no. I'm just not there for it.
Thanks for listening to this podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe, share with a friend, and follow us on our Instagrams. Mine is Coach_Chris Lee.